My name is Ayana Ross, and I'm an oil painter, and I do the work that I do because I feel like it's my calling. Well, I've always been drawing people. That was something that I started doing from when I was much younger, and that made its way into me going into fashion design as my first career. I did that for a while. Then after 9/11, I was working in New York. I got a little displaced. And in trying to find my footing and the path that I wanted to continue to work in, I started to explore art and art education. And I did a number of things. I painted with acrylic, I made jewelry, but oil painting was the thing that I loved doing, to the point where I decided that this is something I want to spend the rest of my life getting better at. So that's how I got into it. You know, it was funny, for a while, for a long time, I didn't think I was enough, and that I didn't think I knew enough. It was always more I needed to learn, until I hit a wall. And when I hit that wall, I came to realize that my pursuit of, in particular, painting and trying to paint like this person, that person, trying to follow their path to this art institute or that atelier, would just lead me to making work that looks like theirs. And so it is my decision to accept myself right here, right now, and acknowledge myself as being enough, that I think puts the stamp on my style. Without effort, I don't have to think about it like, oh, how do I paint like Ayana? Like, I just, just paint. So in some ways, I think my style is birthed out of acceptance of self. In other ways, it is birthed out of doing a thing that seems to work well and doing it again and again and again, and trying to find some formula or some consistency for myself in my work. I think the easiest starting point oftentimes is when it's something that is a personal story or a personal a situation that I think my brain goes, this is kind of like this. I liken this micro thing to this macro thing. This Remember Me painting, it was something that I conceived in the time when we were having a number of deaths in the family, from my grandmother to my mother-in-law. And what those times reminded me of is like, whenever someone passes, whenever someone transitions, there's oftentimes this journey. And in the case of my grandmother, there's this journey to South Georgia, which is where my family is from. That journey is not unique to me. That journey is something I think we can all relate to, wherever home is, wherever your origin story is, wherever your mother, grandmothers were, wherever you spent your summers, you know, that sort of thing. I see my job as being one to go out and consume and gather, and then weaving together in a way that's cohesive and concise, so it's digestible. Atlanta has significantly shaped my work, and it gave me the first entryway into what's possible through real people. It wasn't until I started making connections and doing things in Atlanta that I started to gradually see what was possible. I didn't know and understand the scope of the art world initially. And I'm not gonna act like, I don't even wanna paint a picture that it's always been roses. There were times where I felt like I thought I didn't have enough opportunities, but even those times and those challenges helped me to sharpen my iron, you know, and to keep going back to get better. This art journey has been an incredible one. And in some ways, while the art community may not have always known me, I've always known them. I moved back to Georgia in probably 2012, 2013, and I started making and showing my work around that time. And I started in really small spaces, and I did the Imaginary Million, and I had the honor of meeting artists in the Atlanta art scene. And Tracy Morrell was actually my first mentor. And each year I've just kind of been pecking away and working and trying to get a little bit farther, a little bit farther. I was so honored some years ago, I can't remember what year it was now, when Fahamu was actually my mentor through Mint. And that blew my mind, first of all, but then to continue to grow in my community, to the point where it feels like they're saying, hey, Ayana, we see you, we like what you're doing, and we support you, and we're rooting for you. That's what it felt like to me. It just felt like my community saw me too.